What do you think?
Yeah.
Pros and cons of RV life. So where do we start?
Let's start with the cons.
Okay. Number one, privacy. Some of the RV parks are very crowded, so you are placed like sardines. And
Yeah,
yeah.
like right in like close rows, almost as close as some of these storage facilities, right?
We are totally sleeping. Look at that. Don't
That's
even
true.
think of fighting. Everybody hears you.
Everybody hears you, so no fighting.
It's very embarrassing. Number two is more often cleaning. Even though we live at a smaller space, it seems like I clean more often than I used to in a bigger house, and don't even let the sun shine through the RV. You see every dirt.
I mean, it makes sense because we're in a smaller place, so you know we have the same number of occupants, right? So they're going to track in the same amount of dirt. I guess the regular dust that comes in, you know, is not as much, but it shows more because everything we use, everything here is not really. There's not a lot of wasted space compared to a big house. When we had our big house, you know, you could go for a while without cleaning, but then when you did clean, it was a lot of area to clean, right?
Yeah.
So here it's just, you notice it more, and if you like things clean, you gotta be more regular.
So I constantly clean.
Number three is, for me, is dumping, right? Since that's what mostly I do. And the main thing is, all the hookups are, at least it's in the wet bay, right? They're all together, and I don't understand why the dirty water, right, and the sewer water is next to the city hookups. That doesn't make any. That's not sanitary. We don't have a huge gray black water tank, so we have to dump more frequently. We're trying to merge them by converting to a composting toilet, and but you know we have yet to do that. So once we do that, we'll see how it is. But right now, we have to dump every 2 days. Since I'm the one who has to do it, sometimes it builds up, right? And when it builds up, you can't really drive the car. It gets really smelly.
Number four, spending more time on the road.
I think you mean by because of activities, right? So since the kids have been going to activities for many years now at the same location, and we picked that based on the big house that we lived at. Now, since we're in a sense nomadic, sometimes a little further and other times a lot further, and when it's a lot further, you run into traffic issues in Southern California, so it can be pretty hectic.
Number five, the internet. We are very spoiled people. We love fast internet. We work in the computer industry, and since we live in this RV, we run into issues constantly.
Yeah. Out here, we do have the best plans, right? Best internet plans using the 4G LTE stuff, right? But it's still, the best of the 4G LTE is not as good as wired, access at traditional homes. So, for our standards, it just doesn't work. And then sometimes, depending on where we're, dry camping, it gets even worse. But we address those by using a booster. Sometimes it doesn't always work. We use, multiple providers. By the way, the best plan is nowhere near comparable.
Now let's go to the fun parts, the pros of RV life. Number one, you feel on a vacation 24/7. I love waking up in the morning right next to the ocean, or the mountains, or the trails. Sometimes I see dolphins.
Not as often, but it happens. Yeah. Lots of squirrels.
It's cute. It's so much easier to jump on your bike and go bicycle riding, or jogging, or you jump in the water, you go swimming. Since we live in RV, it seems like we are more active. Everybody around you feels the same, and you just have fun conversations about vacation and different places to go to.
And you've been to.
It's fun.
And you get to meet a wide variety of people. That's what's interesting. It's like it's not just one group of people that you notice, right? It's like people do this for various reasons. Obviously, the majority are, some of it's financially related, but a lot of times it's a choice thing. You meet those. So a lot of retired people, of course. So one of the interesting people we met is a young guy who has a house in Costa Rica. He in a sense retired early, right? And he lives there, but he still comes to the U.S. And when he comes to the U.S., and he's allowed to come for 6 months out of a year. And in the U.S., he stays in a in a RV, and he just goes wherever he wants to go. Although he did say that since he broke up with his girlfriend, he's lonely.
Yeah. He's looking for a mate.
Exactly. So you have to want that stuff. You know, but it does have its benefits, right? I mean, that's pretty cool. You know, living in a foreign country and then coming here for half a year. You know, during the fun times, right? And then it's just kind of traveling around.
Number 2, less expenses. We save so much more money.
So let's be clear. So if you have a large budget, right, for a big house, and you're paying all the expenses related to the standard living of a big house and everything that goes with it, right, that most people do in the U.S., right, then living in an RV is extremely less expensive. It really is. Obviously, if you're just getting by, right, subsistence living, then RV may be just an equal option to the other things you have. Right? Number 3, I would say that is independence. Before, when you have a big house, if you want to maintain an active life, having a full life doing your passions, and any of the maintenance stuff in the house is not a passion for you, then you're going to need other people. So more so than an RV. So I would say that an RV, because everything is kind of purposeful and small, you generally will pick up those skills yourself. In a big house, it's you need a gardener, you need a pool person, because I don't really like to clean the pool or maintain it.
Plus, we don't have to worry about dying grass and dying trees because we cannot use as much water. It feels great.
Also, just knowing that we don't contribute to resource waste, right, as much. Because when you live in an RV, you are very aware of how much water you're using, how much electricity you're using. Because everything we have, it tells us. It tells us, hey, this is only so much electricity you collected from the sun. And that's kind of nice, nice knowing that we could the energy we use, most of it is from sunlight.
Number 4, life lessons. Since we travel more, we see how different people can live.
There's people out there who, they built their own homes. They found a place where the land is pretty inexpensive, but it's, it has the right ingredients they want. They build their dream home. And then what they do is they buy a RV, and then they use it as a vacation home. And you can take that, you can be next to the ocean, you can be in various cities. Of course you pay more for those, but surprisingly other places it's either inexpensive or free to be in these really nice places. You just have to find out where they are.
Number 5, neighbors. Most of the time we meet very nice, very respectful neighbors, and we think it is because essentially we are all guests. For us, these are the top 5 pros and cons
that we come up with so far.
That's right. That's what I call life. What do you think?
Yeah. It's nice.